Hello everybody, welcome to another Arkham Horror the card game list video. Today we're going to be talking about 3 cards we wish weren't so powerful, or rather like 3 cards we wish we didn't feel we had to put in our deck. There's lots of ways to say it, but I think this sums it up the easiest. We're going to dive right in and start talking about our cards. Buckle up, I imagine there's going to be some good conversation in this video. Bryn, what's your number 3?
So I got Sixth Sense level 4. Anytime I play a Mystic who isn't like specifically combat focused, it feels kind of like I'm trolling if I don't pay to put this card in my deck. Like, what could I be doing that is better than this?
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good. Its downside is like the biggest freaking upside.
Yeah, like there is no downside.
It's also super
crazy
boring.
good.
It is super boring. Like,
Yeah.
I remember when like Wither and Sixth Sense came out, and my philosophy on them was, this is cool. Purple now has a way to do this. And now I'm like, oh good. They're just doing this with their brain now, and their upside is sick, and they have manipulation, and they just are always doing good shit. And it's like, oh good.
Yeah.
It's not as exciting.
No.
It's like as you said, Bryn, you don't even really get to like choose what you're upgrading anymore, right? You just have to do it.
In the all purple run we're playing right now, I don't have this card in my deck, and I might be trolling. Like, it's possible.
I don't have it in my deck, but I'm not trolling.
No. I mean, with Akachi, Rite of Seeking is better for like what we're doing. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a bit strange of a design for how it is. It's just a bit too tuned. My number 3 is Arcane Research. I just feel like for the majority of purple investigators, you just take this at the start of the game. Like, the cost of 1 mental trauma ain't that scary, right? Like, so much so the fact that in our mono purple playthrough, me not playing it in Jim Culver is a mistake, right? Like, it's more often than
I've
not.
got 2 of them.
Sorry,
I think
Travis?
Bryn's got 2. So I've got 2. I think Bryn's got 2.
You guys each have 2, right? Like, and I didn't take them because I was doing like a Mimi skull build where I only needed like 2 spell cards. But at the same time, it allows you to buy other things cheaper. So there's no reason like to not take it. And so the fact that like, if you're worried about the mental trauma, there's so many ways to heal it in the course of the game, especially if like I should have taken it as Jim Culver. My trumpet toots like there ain't no tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same with whatever the yellow one is called, Shrewd Analysis. It's just like,
that one you could just say you have in case it's relevant, but this one's like more egregious, I think, because it's like it has a very tangible benefit where it's worth 14 free experience every campaign.
Yeah. Like, that's a lot of experience. Like, sure, only on a spell card, but 14 free experience. You're in purple. You're going to get spell cards. Like, that's your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, what are you doing? Not playing spells?
It's like, just like even for this, like when we play 3 players, if you're purple and you take 2 Arcane Researches, you basically just get a free level 2 Ward of Protection for multiplayer for the first 2 scenarios, right? And like, then you can spend your experience on other things that you would have been spending this money on to buy that upgraded Ward of Protection.
Yeah.
It's just
Deny Existence 5 becomes Deny Existence 3.
Yeah. It was just if it was
not even. So I guess Deny Existence. Sorry, I was thinking Ward Protection. You can upgrade like your Ward of Protection to level 2 for free, and then you can upgrade to level 5 for 1 experience.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, and it does require some like planning where you have to pace out your spell upgrades to get best advantage of it. But even then, just doing what Travis said, that's like 1 experience over 2 scenarios to get like a level 5 Ward of Protection is incredible.
Yeah, or your Rite of Seekings can be level 4 over 2 scenarios.
Yep.
For free.
Yeah.
Or your Sixth Sense can cost you 2 experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, you just get like so much out of it.
Yeah, I actually think this card's a huge design mistake because now, like any moderately powerful Mystic upgrade, they have to like increase the spell cost or the experience cost on.
Yeah.
You have to keep in mind that you can get it for like 1 or 2 less.
I'm honestly surprised it's not. Like if it was limit 1 per investigator, then it would be like it slows it down enough that like 7 free experience for 1 trauma, like it's a bit more fair. But just being able to take 2 is not even a question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Travis, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Practice Makes Perfect. And since we've discovered the power of this card, as a person who plays yellow cards, I'm pretty goddamn sick of playing it. Because I'm not going to play yellow deck without deduction in it. And deduction is practiced. And why wouldn't I want to play deduction more often? Because I wouldn't do the game.
Yeah.
And this gets me more deductions. And then I have to play more practice skills, which is like not hard.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're like really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Depending on who you're playing, like if you're playing investigator who can, it's even worth it playing it in investigators who can't take deduction but can take yellow cards, like Joe Diamond or Mark Harrigan, where you can pick up, like you get Vicious Blow with it, or like the Home Front, but like Perception and Overpower are both also practiced. For purple investigators, Enraptured, Prescient, Promise of Power, Prophesy are all practiced. Blue also gets Take the Initiative and Leadership. And then for yellow, like Deduction is the only like real yellow skill. That one in Perception, I guess. And then you pick one of the ones in like your off-color one. And then you're like, man, why wouldn't I want to play the Eye of Truth with practice? Makes perfect.
Right? Yeah, no, it just like decides
like,
what you do, right? Like, and like practice makes perfect. Even in yellow, if like just getting more deductions in your deck, as we know by a certain investigator, more deductions is good, right?
Yeah, it's just like every time I play deduction now, I feel like I'm pressured to eat up another 6 slots to play practice makes perfect and other cards do.
Yeah, definitely.
And then like, why wouldn't I upgrade my deduction? Because then like upgrade deduction with this thing is worth a lot of extra clues.
Yeah.
It's worth like 4 extra clues a piece.
Yeah, and then there's always there's always the statement of like, so then why don't you just not put those in your deck? It's like, well, because like we do a lot of joke runs on this channel. Like we play the memes or like we play theme decks and we just try to have like fun of it. But like we also like to win, right? So when we're building to win, these cards like must go in there, right? Like as Bryn said, if he's not putting 6 cents in, he's memeing, right? So when we're not doing that, we like these cards are just ubiquitous in our deck building process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go to number 2?
Yeah.
All right, Bryn, what is your number 2?
Rex Murphy. So, believe it or not, he worked as printed on release. That wasn't a misprint, like I tell new players when I play with them. Yeah. Even like as he is now, where you can only trigger his ability once per round, he's still kind of insane.
Yeah.
Like, more deduction is more deductions. It's how you win the game.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish that there's a lot of things I'd like about this card, to be different about this card, but I would like for his curse to play a larger role.
Yes.
And not just kind of not do anything. But yeah, no, I wish this card wasn't quite so good. Like, I can play him when I play with new players, but I really shouldn't.
The game pace
So,
just
like,
quickens so much.
Yeah, you sit down to play, and your friends who you're teaching how to play the game are like, "What should I do this turn?" And you're like, "I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go win. I'm gonna go win the game. Like, do whatever the hell you want."
It's one of those things as well, like, because I'm about to be talking about Mandy next, and Mandy's very, 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 very strong. But the reason why Rex is always, to me, still one of the strongest is because he doesn't need to do anything special to get advantage of his ability, right? And like just the speed in which he quickens the pace of the game with minimal engagement and like minimal requirement is just it's just so strong.
Yeah, he's kind of just like, do you have like static book buffs in play?
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, and he's like, good.
Yeah. Like, just looking back to our Dunwich legacy when Travis played uncontrolled Rex and just like as printed, just the pace in which he got clues. You're so fast.
Card pool back then was trash too.
Yeah.
Imagine what you could do now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I've been playing with my family. I've been thinking maybe I'll play like a Rex or Mandy deck and just like relive the glory days of non-tabooed cards. And just steamroll every scenario and be like, this is what you could be doing.
I think there's going to be a run for sure one day. I think after like 3 or 4 more Taboo List updates, we will do like a taboo-free run, right? Where we play the cards.
Yeah.
And just destroy it.
Just try and show off this is why they're changed.
Yeah. My number 2 is Mandy Thompson. And I always knew that she was strong. But then when you play her, everything changes. It's like when the Titans attack in Attack on Titans. It's just like, you're like, holy crap, what she can do is insane. So much so that like, she's very fun to play. I'm going to say that as well. Like, I love searching my deck. I love grabbing multiple cards to do it. I love never feeling scared of the game. But at the same time, isn't that like kind of defeats the purpose of Arkham Horror? Like, isn't it just like not? Doesn't it not fit to be that strong? Like, it's kind of, she's just so pushed. Like, the mechanic feels very flavorful, right? She's a researcher. She's good at finding things, but the value it gives you is just too much.
It's not just that. It's like her stat line is insane, and also her deck building restrictions are like very, very flexible. You can play a whole lot of things with her.
Yeah, there's so many different
It's also
builds.
like the yellow card pool a little bit, where you can play like niche things. They're like very powerful in certain situations, and then between the hand size cards and her research abilities, you just always have need them.
Yeah. No, I think it would be neat to see them remove the 30 card deck option from her.
I think so too.
I think that would be a fairly elegant fix where you're not actually changing anything that the front side of the card says.
And like, you'll still be good at finding stuff just by the very nature of her character, but like, you won't have those turns like in our. We actually haven't released it, so I don't want to do too many spoilers. But the things that you're able to do in a 30-card Mandy deck is kind of crazy.
The things I did with my 50-card Mandy deck were ridiculous.
Yeah, but that also then falls into the problem as well as the Seeker upgraded card pool, especially like she's been slowed down quite a bit with like the Mr. Rook taboo list. So now you have to like bookmark a bunch of experience for it. But I mean, experience comes especially in the later cycles. She's definitely going to have some alterations in the future. She's going to be such a limit on like design space for yellow because of the things she can do so efficiently.
Yeah. Not that that's something that I'd mind seeing.
Yeah.
Like yellow design space is a little bit of a problem inherently. As you can see, all of our cards are yellow.
Yellow cards are fun and interactive.
Yeah.
I like them. Like something else Mandy does is kind of not good for the game is it's supposed to be a multiplayer game, but when you're playing Mandy, you don't need your teammates.
As once
like
again,
they could actually just sit there and draw the cards or whatever and sit and like just take damage from monsters until they die, and you can still win scenarios by yourself.
Like this is some brief spoilers for our upcoming Return to the Forgotten Age, which honestly actually probably won't be out until the spring or early summer next year because of COVID. But like, I would take I was at no risk that entire game, like, and I was just ignoring the deck and I was just playing my game, right? And like, you guys, as we know what happened,
I was screwing around doing like hot nothing, and Justin carried our asses through the first couple scenarios.
Yeah, it's
like,
just she's strong.
She good.
But the thing is, she's very fun to play, right? but I wish she wasn't that strong because it feels like you're playing a completely different game when you play her. Travis.
I don't think it feels like you're playing a completely different game. You're just playing a deck with like 20 free experience or whatever.
Sorry, when I say you feel like you're playing a different game, I mean like I don't feel like I'm playing Arkham Horror. I feel like I'm playing okay. I feel like I'm playing Marvel Champions when I'm playing Mandy Thompson.
I'm a superhero.
Exactly. Like it's the flavor of her. The flavor. It just feels too. I'm not scared.
Yeah, I'm good.
Travis, who's your number 2?
Fatty. Dr. Milan Christopher. As much as I love thanking him for the money, and like this is another card that like he was actually just printed like this, if you can believe it, where every time you investigate, you just get money for free. Mm-hmm. Like every time you do it.
You had to succeed though.
Oh no. I have to be like participating in the game. Oh no. And now he can only do it once per round, but still, like, I wish I could play different yellow allies. But they're always just worse than him.
Yeah.
Like 4 money for like the stack book is like, I kind of don't understand why this guy isn't like a B cop allegatory where he's like gives you the book and then he's got like 2 brains and 2 hearts, and then you can as a lightning bolt exhaust him to get a clue and have him take a brain damage or something like that. But like he's so good.
He's so good.
I play him in like you play him in your ally slot and you're like, good, I don't need any more economy cards.
Yeah. Yeah, you get him on turn 1.
The case and you're like, I'm done.
Yeah, you get him on turn 1 and he's like he's like, look at all the money I have for you.
All you have to do is get clues, Mr. Yellow Investigator. You're like, okay. Yeah. He's like, but it's okay because I'll help you do it. You're like, okay. I'm also a scientist as well as rich.
Oh, all right, I'm in.
So I think I like, from a positive perspective for this guy, I like the flavor of him being a professor of entomology or whatever. So he cuts up bugs and shit, and he makes the money by selling like the bug bits on like the black market. He's yes, this is a very human liver.
Yeah. Going back to like the flashbacks of just like, I just always love anytime I can reminisce on old school Yellow and just Travis in our first Dunwich is Rex Murphy with Dr. Milan Christopher. On 1 turn, he gets 6 clues and 3 resources. Hello?
Yeah, we're just like, good.
All right, let's go to our number 1s. Bryn, what is your number 1?
And
yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's not yellow because it's a card I actually would just like to be able to play with.
I feel like these ones are like our personal, like these ones like hit us close to the heart.
Yeah, like I love this card. I get why you can't play it because it's like doubling the difficulty of the skill test. Whatever, that's a plan that you can plan for that. If this card like maybe made you draw extra chaos tokens, like okay, suddenly it becomes much more difficult to just like commit it to a test and be like, well, the difficulty of this test is 16 now, but I've got cards to throw at that until I'm at 16.
Yeah.
And then we'll like shotgun you twice, and Yogg-Sothoth will go down like a sack of shit, and cool, game's over now, bud. Or like you throw it at something and you're like, I'll commit deduction to this and I'll gain 6 clues for my 1 action because easy. Like the shroud was only 4. How many cards did I really need to throw at it?
If you think this card is fair, then you're playing it wrong.
Yeah. No, yeah. At least you could only commit 1 to a skill test.
At least. At least
that. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, this card has the dubious distinction of being the first card on the taboo list that you simply are not allowed to play with anymore. They've tried nerfing it a couple of times, and then they were like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Maybe no matter how bad we make this, it's still going to be kind of
it should be more fun if you could commit more than 1. Imagine you're facing down some kind of old one who's got like 6 punch, and you're just like loading up your shotgun. You're like pump up to 12, then 24. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, sliding the chips across the table. Like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I just wish this card weren't quite so strong. Like, I don't know what you do to it to make it fair. I don't like. Clearly, Fantasy Flight doesn't either.
Yeah, I'm sure they had the exact same thing. They were like, we just can't fix this, right? So bye.
But playing with it was a blast.
To it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be like it'd be like pretty meta, but it'd probably be a lot more along the lines of what they intended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My number one is Pete Sylvester, the big man on campus. Both like just even like the level 0 and the level 2 or 3, whatever it's experience. I don't know the experience. I just spend it and say yes, please. I'd like another. I love this guy. Like there's so many in jokes that have come from him, but he's just way too strong as printed. And I'm honestly surprised he hasn't just gotten like the Jessica Hyde treatment. Just when he enters play, put 2 horror on him for his upgraded version. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. And that'd just be like, it'd still be crazy strong, as we see when you get Jessica Hyde and Pete Sylvester in play with a charisma, like you just like don't die. You're like, game can't kill me, right? And
yeah.
Maybe also a little allusion to our Forgotten Age return to, but he's like, it's one of those things where like he's not in the levels of like Dr. Milan or Mr. Rook, where they're just like kind of like busted power level, but he's just like so hyper efficient for what you put into him to what you get out of him. Like
he's the best at what he does, as opposed to like Dr. Milan, where he's like just the best option.
Yeah. And it's just like, there's so many other red allies I would love to play, but the thing is like, unless I'm doing something fun or themed, I have no reason not to. He's just so good at what he does and what he's there for.
Yeah, he kind of does trivialize other red allies.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of cool stuff that they could do with that slot, but why would you pick it?
Yeah. They even have like the on your own, and they're like, yeah, do it. And then I'm like, yeah, but with Pete, I just don't die.
Yeah.
Because he also bumps up your defensive stats too. So like you're set. And like, yeah, it's crazy. Travis, what's your number one?
This is Stick to the Plan. So this is probably the like best Guardian card in the game. And the reason I hate it is because what Guardian deck doesn't get better by spending six experience on this?
Yep.
Like none of them. Every time I want to do something cool with a Guardian deck, I'm like, oh no, I have to spend 6 experience on Stick to the Plan to make my deck do exactly what I want to every game.
Oh no, I need to pay 6 for hyper efficiency.
Well, like it's kind of boring too when there's like no tension behind. Like it is frustrating to like not find your weapons and stuff, but when you're just like you don't have to work for it or think about it, it takes some out of the game, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, like
it's a boring card, and like it also costs 6 experience. It's like a scenario and a bit's worth.
Yeah.
And a lot of the really cool Guardian cards cost a lot of experience. And sure, there's like some fun things that you can do with it, with like some of the firearm-centric things like marksmanship and telescopic sight, and you can like kind of build a little toolbox with it. But it's so much better to just put like every vigilant fucking prepared for the worst and some other like even just emergency cash on it, and just be like, I will get to play the game.
Yeah.
Like 100% exactly the way I intended it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just going back to that statement I said earlier. When you're building meme decks or like decks that aren't trying to be like super good, you can make these decisions. But when you're trying to win, you lose by not putting Stick to the Plan in. Like
it feels like it's a decision that's made for me, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
especially since it costs experience.
Yeah. Dang.
Like at least with practice make perfect, there's like a world where I could be like, you know, my deck really doesn't want or need perception anymore, which leaves me with just the deductions, and it's like maybe this isn't so good here anymore. But
yeah, then you have to draw it before you draw both of your deductions, and then if you draw one of your deductions, you're looking for what, like 1 in 15 or 1 in 20 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where I can like justify taking out, but I don't think you can ever justify not playing Stick to the Plan.
Yeah.
You can even put practice makes perfect in to stick to the plan.
Yes, you can.
Cool. Down below, everyone watching, why don't you guys comment some cards that you wish weren't so powerful? And as always, recommend us more list videos to make. This was actually suggested by one of our viewers, so thank you so much for that suggestion. And then we will be back next week for another exciting list video where we yammer on about something else. So thanks for watching, have a good one, and as always, GG's.